Guru Pyari Sadh Sangat Ji, publicity for the Panth, Sikh Press Association. That's what I want to discuss today. Guru Pyari Sadh Sangat Ji, every day almost in these last few months, we've had the blessed opportunity to discuss this beautiful path of Sikhi. We get to talk about Guru Sahib Sache Pacha, the former Paramatma. We get to talk about the different Bhagats and the different saints that guide us in this life. We talk about our great battles and spiritual philosophies, removing our doubts and going into the state of bliss. We get to talk about so many things like this. And the more we discuss it, it basically seems like there's never enough time to discuss how great and how vast Sikhi is. It's endless, just like omnipresent Creator, omnipresent God. But I want you to think about this and look at it from a completely different angle today. If you were to ask or speak to any non-Sikh or a random person about Sikhi, I want you to think about what they would say. Generally, many of them, or most of them, they would probably say nothing. They've never heard of Sikhi. Some might say, oh yeah, I know Sikhs. They have those beards and turbans, right? And then some of them might say, oh yeah, Sikhs, they fought in the world wars. They're great warriors. Many will say, I have a Sikh friend. You guys have big weddings, right? Sometimes there's the cultural influences that are associated. Maybe just they have Punjabi friends and they might think, oh yeah, those are people that love to party and they drink alcohol a lot. Unfortunately, sometimes these are the things that are perceived by somebody that's not as directly associated with Sikhi. So these are the types of things you'll hear the average person say on the street about Sikhs. Now, ask yourself, what you want associated with Sikhi? When people think of Sikhi, what I want them to think about is divine experience. I want them to think about the beautiful aspects of Sikhi, of spirituality, selfless service, losing your ego, social reform, tackling prejudice, fighting tyranny, moving towards righteousness, all of these things. This is what we want to spread and want the world to understand and to think about the Khalsa Panth. Now, with this organization and the team that Das, myself, is privileged to do prachar with, Everything's 13, we have a vision with this charity that all across the world, Guru Nanak Dev Ji Sache Pacha's wisdom, teachings, they should be spread. That vision should go around the world to help people understand what Sikhi is, a vision to arm the Panth. The Panth itself should be armed with knowledge. When there's no knowledge and the Panth doesn't know, the Sikhs don't know what Sikhi is, then there's no real standing army, there's no Khalsa Panth, there's no Sikhi directly connected to its roots. So therefore, we want to spread that Sikhi all across the world to help anybody, no matter where they are in the world, to live a better life, to connect deep down within themselves and to walk on this path, this beautiful path towards the Guru. When it comes to the perception of Sikhi today, we have to realize that media and the influence that media has upon Sikhi is huge. Even our own family and friends, they may not watch basics of Sikhi videos, including my own, but they will watch the news. They will read the newspaper. They'll go on social media and they'll see what's trending. People love to go and see these current event things or whatever the rest of the world is watching. So what I'm trying to say is whoever controls media, whoever monopolizes media, basically controls the entire world or the way people think. So this is where I want to talk about what Sikh Press Association does and how they have been helping in the last 5 years to serve the Panth. So Sikh Press Association works to influence the media in favor for our Panth. And Sadh Sangat Ji, what's most beautiful is how they influence the media. It's not just about, oh, there's somebody out there that's speaking for the Sikhs, for speaking on behalf of the Sikhs. It's also a method that we like to take towards presenting to the media, is that you only need to speak about Sikhi exactly as it is. You don't need to twist it in any way according to something that they might understand. Sikhi and the message of truth behind Sikhi, you explain it as is. And that's what's so beautiful about it. You don't need to manipulate it. You just need to explain it directly as it is. And this is something that we've always said, that Sikhi doesn't need selling. It only needs telling. Sikhi doesn't need preaching. It simply just needs teaching. And I want you to take, for example, the example of the Karpan. Now, this is something that can be very difficult to explain to the public. But the truth of why we wear it and how beautiful it is, kirpa and an, meaning mercy and honor, blessings and honor. It's there to defend defend the rights of yourself and those around the world. Just like a policeman holds a rifle or holds a gun or holds a baton, any sort of weapon, in that way the public knows it's for safety. It represents the justice of dharm, of righteousness in this entire world, in this entire creation. It represents the form, a memory of God, of the Creator itself. So there's so many beautiful elements, which I can't get into right now, about the Qur'an, but seen by an outsider, just seen as, oh my God, it's a weapon. They're using something stored in their mind, biased, and they're just connecting it according to that. So when we try to portray the Qur'an, or let's say the Dastar, or other elements of the Panth towards the wider public, it needs to be put on that platform in the way that they're willing to do it. So this is the type of truth, this is the type of seva that Sikh Press Association can reveal to the public. We have so many Gursikhs that are intelligent and articulate within the Panth. Sikh Press, the platform to allow us to explain Sikhi for ourselves in our own words, rather than BBC explaining what Sikhi is, or rather than somebody who has no idea what Sikhi is and they're explaining Sikhi, or somebody who claims they are a Sikh but absolutely has no idea what Sikhi is, and they're going in front of the world and they're saying this is what Sikhi is and that's what people are perceiving it to be. We want to explain Sikhi to the entire world in the news, in the media, with our own words, using the words that we want to use. In this beautiful Panth of ours, we have many people of many different stages, at many different stages, walking this path of Sikhi. But we all have a role to play in this Panth, in this world. This is something that we can see throughout our history. For example, when we look at the example of Bhai Subeg Singh, he was a government employee under Zakaria Khan, and he was a contractor around Lahore. He would do his work, and he was somebody that would deliver messages from the government to the Gursikhs living inside of the jungles at the time. He was well educated in many languages. That skill and his talent was used in favor for the Panth. When we look at different writings, we have Mahankavi Santokh Singh Ji, we have Bhai Veer Singh Ji. These great writers in our history and different scholars, they've utilized their skill, their talent, and put it in favor for the Panth. They've turned it into a service. Many business people have done it in the past. So when we look at these examples, these are worldly skills that, especially in today's day, we are trying to grow. Somebody's trying to become a journalist, somebody's trying to become a lawyer, somebody's trying to become a doctor. We're growing these skills, but how we use them towards the Panth, this needs to be utilized, this needs to be pushed forward. This is how we can allow our Panth to grow. This is how we can strengthen the Panth. Now, Sikh Press Association is a project that is intended to find people with these skills that can be put to use for the Panth. Guru Sahib Sache Pacha, they give us so many different tools to use to help keep this Panth flourishing, like different systems within the Khalsa Panth, within the Sikh concepts. Guru Sahib gives us the concept of the Swand, which is 10% of your earnings, or any Sikh's earnings, which you put towards the advancement of Sikhi, the advancement of the Khalsa Panth, whether it be towards charitable organizations, whether it be towards prachar, whether it be towards seva in your local town, whether it be towards a Gurdwara Sahib, no matter where you're putting that daswand, in which way you're doing it, those are 10% earnings coming out. In other ways, there is the 10% that you take out of your time to devote to your own meditation, towards your own devotion, and 10% of your time to actually physically go out with your own hands and serve the world. In all of these ways, these concepts are instilled, and then a unification of the Sadh Sangat. Guru Sahib gave us sovereignty to be our own army. That's what the Khalsa Panth is. An army that does not rely on the rest of the world to speak for us, does not rely on others to represent us. The Khalsa Panth represents itself. We have our own identity, our own look, our own language, our own scholar system. We have all of these things put into place, yet unfortunately most of the world does not know about them. And when we look and try to diagnose them, the things that I see the world trying to move towards to this beautiful thing that they're trying to achieve, Guru Sahib has given that to us from the very beginning. Now when we just focus on this project of Sikh Press Association, it's been created as an extension of these tools. And what we want is everything's 13 to know that Sikh Press Association isn't just our organization. It's your organization. They are there for you to use and support in your own efforts for the Panth. You might have ideas. You think that you're doing a project locally. You can use these platforms. These Gur Sikhs are there, and they've been doing this for many years now. They're experienced in this field. You can approach them to get your project out towards the public. Sikh Press Association, publicity for the Panth, you can think about it in a way, is an intermediary between the Panth and the greater media. If, ideally, you want National Post, BBC, CBC, Fox News, any of these bigger organizations, if they want to contact somebody in the Panth to have within the Sikh diaspora to get some knowledge or some insight into a Sikh concept, they shouldn't just be going to random resources, shouldn't just be picking up random people off the street. There should be an entity there that's available for them. That's what we're trying to create SikhPA to be. And then if we look at it in the benefits of how Sikh Press Association has given back towards the Panth, how is the Panth benefiting from it? I want you to think of it through this example. If you wanted to pay for an advertisement in a newspaper, it would cost, just giving a random example, $50 for a quarter-page advert in a newspaper, or let's say a radio advert, or bigger case, $50,000 for a prime-time 5-minute TV advert. And based on this, the amount of positive news coverage that SikhPA has earned for the Panth, based on these numbers, random numbers I've given, is like in the millions. This is something that you would need big firms to be able to achieve. With Guru Sahib's Kirpa and the Sangat support, we've been able to achieve all of these things, and greater insight can be found on the website and the videos that the press officers of Sikh Press Association that they've made. So my beinti is this, that after 5 years of doing this seva, it's a request for you to please remember Sikh Press Association in your ardas. When you make this request, please ask Maharaj to support institutions like this to grow, and so we can flourish, so we can last for another 5 years, 10 years, however long Guru Sahib Sache Pacha wants us to continue doing this seva. There are many different organizations doing similar work. We want to support all of these causes to strengthen the Panth. To find out more details of, the actual details of how Sikh Press Association works and how you can get involved and why, maybe you have further questions, you contact the Sikh Press Association, follow them on Instagram and subscribe to their YouTube channel as well. Certain things that we focus on just media related or just Panth related or on Sikh Press Association, and the things that are associated, prachar related, those end up being put on the Basics of Sikhi YouTube channel. So while speaking, I've made many mistakes. If I've said anything wrong, please have it in your heart to forgive me. Sari Sangat Gaj Baj Ki Fateh Bilao Ji. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa. Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.